bailiff today, and the bailiff is supposed to do is to put order in the courtroom to maintain everything's going right in the courtroom and all that, and to make sure y'all can take y'all to the deliberation room so y'all can discuss about the case after it's all over. And I'm gonna give it to before I start that, how's everybody doing today? Doing good? Yeah. This is Verge.
Hello everybody, my name is Andrew Verge. I am going to be one of the witnesses on the stand. And what a witness does is they are called up on stand and they give their statements of it. You know how your parents tell you to tell the truth at all times? When we get up on the stand, we have to swear to tell the truth at all times. And you can't lie, and that'll be called perjury.
I'm Shannon, and I'm playing the attorney for B.B. Wolf, and this is Adam. We're partner attorneys, and what we do is we're representing the state. So the state has hired us to prove his innocence, prove her wrong, prove her guilty.
Hello. My name's Kayla, and I'm playing the Curly the Pig, and basically I'm the defendant, so I'm trying to prove my innocence, saying that I didn't do what they're trying to accuse me of doing.
Hi, my name is Susie James, and I'm playing Jack. I'm Susie James, and I'm playing Jack Smith.
Hi, my name is Amani, and I'm going to be playing an attorney for Curly Pig.
Hi, I'm Mosaic, and we are partner defense attorneys, and our job is to defend our client and advocate for her that she didn't do it, and we go up against them and their client. And that's it.
Hello everyone, my name is Acacia. I will be playing the judge today. My role is to make sure I maintain the order in the court and make sure that everyone receives a fair trial. And we're going to get ready to get started. Make sure everyone remains seated. Please turn all cell phones off and please remain silent. Thank you.
Have everybody please stand real quick. Here in this court of Northeast Magnet High School is now in session. The Honorable Judge Farquhar is presiding.
Everyone, you can be seated. This is a case of Wolf versus Pig. As I understand the pleadings, the charge against Pig is attempted wolf cooking. Now, are there any opening statements?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, in this case, we will show that last October 14, 2013, the defendant, Mr. Pig, did indeed attempt to cook the plaintiff, Mr. Wolf. We will show that he placed a steaming cauldron of boiling water in a spot where he was sure that Mr. Wolf would show up, that furthermore his cooking book would be found open to the recipe page titled Fried Wolf. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does the attorney for Curly Pig have an opening statement?
Your Honor, Mr. Wolf's charge is Your Honor, Mr. Wolf's charge is ridiculous. We will show that the cauldron was inside Mr. Pig's home and that Mr. Wolf was forcibly trying to enter. We will also show that Mr. Wolf's actions were just the latest in a long series of harassments of the Pig family that include actions of eating curly brothers, Larry and Mo. We will show that Curly Pig was merely protecting his home and his life.
Very well. Call your first witness to the stand.
I call Big Bad Wolf to the stand. Okay, please state your name for the record.
My name is BB Wolf. My friends call me BB.
Where do you currently live?
I got a nice little den outside the woods, Wichita, Kansas. It's got redwood padding, pretty nice stereo.
Do you have a kitchen?
Nah, I eat out a lot. You might say.
Yes. Well, let's move on to the morning of October 14th, 2013. Do you recall your whereabouts that morning?
Yes, I do, quite clearly, actually. I was taking my usual morning stroll as I passed by the house of my old pal, Curly Pig. I was admiring his house. It was quite well written. You know, I thought I wanted to pay a visit to him to tell him just that. What a fine job he did on his house. Anyway, I knocked on the door and called out his name, but there was no answer. I knocked harder, called out louder, still no answer. Then I sat down on the front porch stool. I figured Curly was out. See, I don't get out in the neighborhood a lot, so I think he would be pretty upset if I didn't come see him. So then it hit me. Curly's a real sound sleeper. So he was probably sleeping in. I thought if I just left and hadn't woken him, he'll be sad. So I tried to find a way in his house. It took a minute, then it hit me. I climbed through the chimney.
Did you climb the chimney?
Well, yes and no. I started to, but when I got almost to the bottom, someone took off the lid of the cauldron, and the water was boiling. Someone wanted me to fall in.
Objection. This witness is guessing at my client's motives.
I agree. Objection sustained. Continue, Mr. Wolf.
Well, lucky for me, the steam was so powerful it just sort of whooshed me right out of the chimney. And man, I was dipping out. I decided Curly Pig was no friend of mine.
Your Honor, that is all of our evidence. Both friends.
Very well. We will now hear Curly Pig's side of the case. You are excused, Mr. Wolf.
Your Honor, as my first witness, I will call Mr. Jack Smith.
Yes, you can.
What is your name?
My name is Jack Smith.
What is your occupation?
I run the J. Smith Lumber Company.
Mr. Smith, are you familiar with the Pig family?
Well, I've got quite a few customers that are pigs. There's Porky Pig, Higgly Diggly Pig, and of course, Miss Piggy.
Let me be more specific. Are you familiar with the three little pigs, Larry, Mo, and Curly?
Ah, yes. Now there's a sad story for you.
How did you come to meet the three little pigs?
Well, when their poor mother sent them out into the world to make their own lives, they each came to me for building supplies. The first brother, Larry, came to me for a bundle of straw, and I told him that straw wasn't too secure, but he insisted on the straw.
Do you know if he ever built that house?
Oh, it got built all right, but it didn't last very long.
What do you mean by that?
Well, right after he got it built, I think it was the day after the nice little housewarming party he had, that old wolf over there, he was always up to no good. Why, it wasn't but a week before he was on the other side of the forest making trouble for little Red Riding Hood and her granny.
Objection! This testimony about Little Red Riding Hood is completely irrelevant to this case.
Objection sustained. Mr. Wolf's attorney is correct. Proceed, Mrs. Smith, but please try and stay on track.
Well, the wolf came over to to the little pig's house and said, little pig, let me in. The little pig said, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. So the wolf got mad and said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. So he huffed and he puffed and the house came down and he ate the little pig.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you say he ate the little pig?
Yes, indeed, Your Honor. We are talking about Major Porcupine.
Objection. I don't think we need that kind of uncaused character assassination from the wolf.
Sustained. Mr. Wolf's attorney is correct.
Mr. Smith, did you also sell materials to Mo and Curly?
Sure did. Mo wanted to build his home out of sticks. I tried to talk him out of it. I said, you know, kiddo, you're going to have a lot of draft problems with the twig house, not to mention wolf problems. But he was set on a twig cabin, and I sold him a load.
Can you tell the court the present state of that house?
I guess you'd call its present state gone. Pretty much as soon as he got it built, old BB noticed he didn't mention that the second B stands for bad. Stopped by and with his little pig, let me in routine. And Mo responded the same way Larry did, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. And the wolf said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. He did and ate poor Mo, just like he did Larry. At this point, everyone was noticing that BB didn't have any good intentions for the three little pigs. I was glad Curly came to me and asked to build his place out of bricks. He had a nice little colonial in mind.
I really must object to this entire line of questioning, Your Honor. The witness testimony is completely hearsay. He never actually saw any of these things happen.
Sustained. Perhaps, solicitor, you can move to another line of questioning?
Actually, Your Honor, I'm through with this witness. If Mr. Smith could step down, we'd like to call Curly Pig to the stand.
Mr. Smith, you may step down. Curly Pig, you may proceed to the stand.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth? Oh, wait, do you swear that the testimony about you gave is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, it is. Please state your name. I'm Curly Pig. Where do you live? I live on 2010 Griffin Boulevard, just off of Pioneer Avenue. Now, Mrs. Pig, are you familiar with the plaintiff, BB Wolf, in this case? Are you good old pal with Mr. Wolf, as like you said in his testimony? Are you kidding? Me friends with him? No way.
Okay, now, Mr. Coburn, surely she doesn't, is there a law against that?
He's just trying to look innocent. He's not, let me tell you.
Gentle animals. If you don't quit this bickering, I'll have to contempt of court. Let's proceed with the questioning.
Well, going back a bit then, Mrs. Pig, how did you first come into meeting Mr. Wolf?
Well, we didn't meet under the friendliest of circumstances. I started knowing of him when he huffed and puffed and blew up the homes of Larry and Mo down. I mean, talk about excessive. Nobody told this guy that breaking and entering didn't mean breaking down the house and then entering.
When did you come to know Mr. Wolf personally?
After what he did to my brothers, I guess he thought it'd be easy pickings for me. Well, he hadn't counted on the fact that I chose to build my house out of bricks. And when he came over one morning with his cheap little pig, let me in trick, I told him no way by the hair on my chinny chin chin and kept watching TV. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in, he said, and I laughed. I just went into the kitchen to make myself a snack. Just a small one. I don't want to make a wolf of myself. Anyway, while I was in the kitchen, I could hear him huffing and puffing. When I went to bed, still huffing and puffing. That night, he wasn't going to get, and I was sure of that when I made my house out of bricks.
And was that the last time you ever saw Mr. Wolf?
Are you kidding? That was the only first time. I saw Mr. Wolf about a week later. He came by and said real sweetly, "Oh, little pig, I know where you can find the loveliest turnips." He must have known that pigs are fools for turnips. Anyway, I asked him where. Oh, he said, in Farmer Brown's farm. If you're ready tomorrow morning at 6, I'll come by and we can go together and get some for dinner. Boy, that wolf must think I'm done. I knew that those turnips would only be the side dish for his dinner, and I just knew he had mine for the main course.
So you didn't go?
I got up at 5, went to Farmer Brown's farm, picked my turnips, and was back at home making turnip stew by the time Mr. Wolf came at 6.
What was Mr. Wolf's reaction to this?
Oh, he was fuming all right, but he didn't show it. That wolf is one cool cucumber. He just watched me eat my stew, and he said through the window, "Oh, little pig, I know where you can get the juiciest red apples. I know where there's a tree full of them." Being full of curiosity, I asked where, and he said in Farmer Green's garden. "If you're ready at 5, I'll take you there, and we'll go get them together." I said fine, and I was off to Farmer Green's garden at 4.
And back at home eating apple pie at 5.
Well, no. Old Wolfie is pretty smart. He had me figured out by then, so he got up at 4 too. Just about the time I was about to come down, I looked down, and there BB Wolf was staring up at me, grinning with those rather large choppers.
What did you do?
Well, I did some fast thinking. He said, "Good morning, Curly." "My, but you're up early. How are the apples?" I responded with, "They're delicious." "Wait a minute, I'll throw one to you." I threw it so far, I was practically home by the time he found it.
Was that the last time you saw Mr. Wolf?
Oh, no. He came back by one morning. Actually, it was about a week ago.
A week ago?
What is this going on? Order in the court. Order.
By this time, he had a new trick. "How would you like to go to the fair, Curly?" he asked me. I said sure, just to see what he had up his sleeve. Well then, he said he'd be ready by 3 this afternoon, and I'll come by for you. Well, I went to the fair by myself around noon. It was on my way back home by the time I saw Mr. Wolf coming up the hill towards me.
What happened then?
I got inside the butter churn but I tipped over when I got inside, and it started rolling down the hill with me inside it. I guess the strange sight of the churn on the loose scared the living daylights out of him. At any rate, he took off like a shot. The next day, he came to my house and told me that he was so sorry that he had missed me the day before. He told me his story about the old butter churn rolling down the hill while he was on his way to get me. That scared him, so that he ran home. I laughed and I figured that I should tell him what it was. I think it might have been the right thing to do. No, it had been the right then and there that he decided to eat me up.
How did you know this?
Well, I didn't quite know, but he had this look in his eye, a nasty glance. And then he started climbing up the side of my house. At first, I couldn't imagine what he was doing, and then it hit me. The chimney. I'd already had a big pot of water to boil for my tea. I took off the lid. I only wanted to warn him off. How was I supposed to know he was already climbing down it?
Thank you, Mr. Pig. That's all.
I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, you may.
Mr. Pig, I've been listening to this account of your dealings with Mr. Wolf, and it seems to me that you were doing an awful lot of teasing and baiting of my client. Wouldn't you say that is true?
Well, maybe I was having a little fun with the old boy, but seeing as he was trying to eat me, that doesn't seem much too bad.
I'll ask the questions here, if you please. What about the reports that the cookbook next to your fireplace was found open to the page of fried wolf? Is this true?
Yeah, but it isn't as it seems. I had it open to warm apple pie. I was going to make one with my extra apples I got that morning. But then when I took the lid off the cauldron, the hot steam must have turned the pages forward to fried wolf.
You expect the courts to believe that?
Well, it's the truth by the hair on my chinny chin chin.
All right, Mr. Pig, you may step out.
You are excused. Are there any closing arguments?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, we have shown that Mr. Pig on several occasions did taunt and tease Mr. Wolf, and he did lift the lid on the cauldron just as Mr. Wolf was coming down the chimney to pay him a visit. And in fact, that his recipe book was open to the page of fried wolf. I'm sure that the jury agrees the pig was attempting to do harm to Mr. Wolf. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, counsel. Do you have any closing arguments?
Your Honor, we have shown that Mr. Wolf had it in for the pig family. Clearly, he was up to no good. Any of the times when he came over to Curly Pig's house, Mr. Pig is a law-abiding citizen who was minding when Mr. Wolf began harassing him. If he teased Wolf, well, clearly he was egged onto it. I'm sure the jury will agree to lifting off the lid of the kettle and the cookbook opening to the real recipe was a mere coincidence. He did not mean any real harm to Mr. Wolf. Thank you.
Thank you. Does that conclude the evidence?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
You have now heard the evidence. Now it is your job to decide whether Mr. Pig was trying to fry Mr. Wolf like he was chicken. Will you please go with the bailiff to the jury room, and after you have decided, would you please come back and inform me of that decision?
So you're gonna come with me, and we're gonna go outside, and you guys gonna discuss about what you're gonna discuss if Wolf is guilty or not. Thank you.